In the vibrant neighborhoods of Long Beach, California, 17-year-old Deshaun Mitchell quietly dreamed of a future in music. He spent his evenings in a small room at the back of his mother's apartment, laying down tracks on borrowed equipment and scribbling lyrics into battered notebooks. His sound was raw, blending classic West Coast hip-hop with jazz samples and soul melodies, his voice equal parts confidence and vulnerability. Few people outside his immediate circle knew about his talent. Deshaun's mother, Carla, was proud, but cautious. She remembered too well the struggles of trying to break into the industry, and she wanted her son to finish school before chasing stardom. Still, she encouraged him to keep making music, hoping it would keep him focused and off the troubled streets. Deshaun uploaded tracks to SoundCloud under a pseudonym, watching as a small but loyal following grew. Friends from school cheered him on, sharing his songs and urging him to submit demos to local stations. But Deshaun's biggest wish was to be heard by someone who truly understood the world he came from, someone who'd walked the same blocks and seen the same struggles. Unknown. To him, Deshaun was related to hip-hop royalty. His late father had been Snoop Dogg's cousin, though the family lost touch after his passing. Carla rarely spoke of it, not wanting her son's ambitions to be tied to a famous name. One summer afternoon, Deshaun's cousin Marcus posted a video of him freestyling at a block party. The clip quickly gained traction, shared by friends and local artists. Someone tagged Snoop Dogg on Instagram, half joking that he needed to check out his nephew's flow. Snoop's social media team sent him the video. He watched it, eyebrows raised at the flow, the poise, and the unmistakable family resemblance. Curious, Snoop reached out to Carla, his long-lost cousin by marriage, asking if the rumors were true. Carla answered his call with a mixture of nerves and excitement, explaining Deshaun's passion and hard work. Snoop smiled, remembering his own early days. "Talent runs in the blood," he said. "Let me meet the young man." A week later, Deshaun came home to find his mother and Snoop Dogg waiting in the living room. The teen's jaw dropped. You're Snoop Dogg," he stammered, still in disbelief. Snoop grinned, dapping him up and pulling him in for a hug. The meeting was surreal. Snoop asked about Deshaun's music, his dreams, and his life. He listened to tracks, nodding to the beat and jotting notes. "You got something special, nephew," he said. "But talent alone ain't enough. Let's see how hungry you are." Before leaving, Snoop invited Deshaun to his studio, promising to give him a shot, if he was willing to work for it. Deshaun barely slept that night, excitement and nerves warring in his chest. He knew this was the moment that could change everything. The first time, his dream felt real. The next week, Deshaun found himself outside Snoop Dogg's legendary studio in Inglewood. His hands trembled as he clutched a USB drive full of new beats and verses, heart pounding with anticipation. Carla came along for support, her pride tempered by worry for her son's future. Inside, the studio buzzed with activity. Producers tweaked beats, artists rehearsed, and engineers moved between soundboards and booths. Snoop greeted Deshaun like family, introducing him to the crew and explaining that this was more than just music. It was business, discipline, and community. Snoop asked Deshaun to perform live, right there in front of industry pros. Nerves threatened to take over, but Deshaun closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and began to rap. His lyrics spoke of struggle, ambition, and the hope of honoring his father's legacy. By the end, the room was silent, then erupted in applause. Impressed, Snoop offered Deshaun a mentorship. But there was a catch. No handouts. You start from the ground up. Studio assistant, runner, whatever it takes. You gotta learn every part of this game. Deshaun agreed without hesitation. Over the next months, he balanced school, studio chores, and late-night recording sessions. He swept floors, fetched coffee, and ran errands, all while absorbing lessons from seasoned professionals. Snoop pushed him hard, challenging his lyrics, critiquing his beats, and insisting he rewrite verses until they were perfect. "Good enough ain't good enough," Snoop reminded him. "You gotta outwork everyone, even me." Through setbacks and frustration, Deshaun grew. He learned about copyright law, contracts, and the business side of music. He watched artists come and go, saw egos rise and fall, and understood the value of humility and persistence. Snoop included Deshaun in writers' rooms and brainstorming sessions, letting him contribute hooks and melodies to other artists' tracks. Slowly, Deshaun earned respect, not just as Snoop's nephew, but as a creative force in his own right. Carla saw the transformation in her son, more confident, disciplined, and focused. She thanked Snoop for his tough love, knowing that the path to success was never easy. Deshaun's social media presence grew as clips from the studio leaked online. Fans and local stations took notice, asking when he'd drop his own EP. Snoop decided it was time for a test. "You ready to show the world what you got?" he asked. Deshaun nodded, nervous but determined. They set a date for his debut performance, a spot opening for Snoop at a sold-out club in Los Angeles. For Deshaun, everything was on the line, but he finally felt ready. The night of the show, Deshaun stood, backstage, hands sweating as the crowd's roar echoed through the building. Snoop Dogg's crew offered last-minute encouragement, reminding him that nerves were just proof that he cared. Carla watched from the front row, tears in her eyes as she saw her son pacing, headphones around his neck. She remembered his first school talent show, how shy he'd been. Now he stood on the brink of something bigger than either of them had ever imagined. When the lights dimmed and Snoop introduced his nephew to the crowd, Deshaun felt a wave of adrenaline. He stepped onto the stage, squinting into the sea of faces. The beat dropped, and he launched into his first song, a tribute to his father and the streets that raised him. The crowd responded instantly, waving arms and shouting encouragement. Deshaun poured his heart into every lyric, his delivery raw and electrifying. By the end of his set, the audience was on its feet, chanting his name. Backstage, Snoop hugged him, pride clear in his eyes. "You did it, nephew. You proved you belong." Here, video clips from the performance went viral overnight. Music blogs praised Deshaun's flow, stage presence, and authenticity. Offers for interviews and collaborations poured in. Snoop wasn't done. He called a meeting with his team, laying out an ambitious plan for Deshaun's career. "We ain't just dropping singles," he said. "We're building a brand. Music, merch, community outreach, the whole package." Deshaun started recording his debut EP with support from Snoop's producers. The sessions were intense, with Snoop pushing for perfection and encouraging Deshaun to stay true to his roots. At every step, Deshaun remembered Snoop's advice: be humble, work hard, lift others as you rise. The EP's first single premiered on a major radio station, quickly climbing local charts. Fans recognized Deshaun as more than Snoop's nephew. He was an artist in his own right. With every success, Deshaun made sure to credit his mother, his neighborhood, and the cousin who posted that first video. For the first time, he felt his father's legacy living on, not in Snoop's shadow but alongside him. Months after his debut, Deshaun's career was thriving. He toured with Snoop Dogg, performing for packed audiences across the country. His EP broke into streaming charts, and his lyrics inspired young fans to chase their own dreams. But Deshaun never forgot where he came from. With Snoop's encouragement, he launched a mentorship program in Long Beach, offering studio time, workshops, and scholarships to young artists from underserved neighborhoods. Carla helped run the community events, proud to see her son making a difference. "You're changing lives, baby," she told him, "just like Snoop did for you." Snoop Dogg continued to mentor Deshaun, celebrating his wins and helping him navigate setbacks. "Fame comes and goes, but character lasts," Snoop reminded him. "Keep building, keep giving." Deshaun became a voice for his generation, speaking out about education, violence, and opportunity. He collaborated with schools, appeared on youth panels, and even started a podcast sharing stories from the neighborhood. Fans admired his humility and his commitment to lifting up others. His music reflected not just his journey, but the hopes and struggles of his community. Snoop's faith in his nephew paid off in ways no one expected. Their bond deepened, built not just on family, but on shared purpose and respect. As Deshaun's star rose, he brought his crew along, creating opportunities for friends who'd supported him from day one. His story was featured in magazines, documentaries, and even a short film about music, family, and second chances. Looking back, Deshaun was grateful for every challenge and every moment Snoop had pushed him harder. He knew his success was built on hard work, love, and the power of someone believing in him. And as he took the stage for another headline show, his mother cheering in the crowd, Snoop nodding in approval from the wings, Deshaun realized this was only the beginning. Because with family, faith, and music, the future held no limits.